All right, welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live. Annie the musical has finally made its way to South Africa following an extensive 6-month nationwide search. The production has finally found 3 best candidates suited to play the role of Annie. And the musical is of a brave young girl, Annie, who stays in an orphanage and is determined to find her real parents. Life begins to look up when she's chosen to spend Christmas at the residence of a famous billionaire. Well, the story takes us through the heart, aches, torture and misery of Annie. For that, we're joined by Neil Clausen. Right at the end there, you can see her him there. Taryn, who looks still, Taryn Sudding, she plays the role of Grace. And then Emma Rose Blatch, who plays the role of Annie. Ladies, gentlemen, one gentleman.
Hi.
Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you very much.
All right, Neil, let's bring you into this conversation. Briefly, what is Annie about? It's a classic story. It's, it's been alive for so many years, but somehow it's been recreated. Tell us a little bit briefly about what Annie's about.
Well, I think you basically told the viewers what it's about. What I can rather reflect on, I think, is the difference between this production and the ones that came before. In the sense that it's definitely gotten a bit of a facelift. Well, not a bit, like an entire facelift. Yeah. It's quite a modern presentation of the classic story, with just magnificent choreography and design that immediately gives it a completely different feel. Then on the one hand, choreography, I have to mention it again, that will blow your mind. It blows my mind every single time I see it. And then in stark contrast to that, scenes that have been kept very real, really focusing on the story and the narrative. So the heart is there, but with spectacle that's just completely mind-blowing.
Let's bring Anna into this conversation. I mean, Emma, sorry, I apologize. Annie, Emma. All right, talk to us about your role in preparing for this role. What went into that?
Well, obviously, Annie is set in New York, and so an American accent is required.
Yeah.
Yes.
Luckily, with all of the TV shows and everything that's in American, it's not that difficult to adapt to that. But more on the role specifically, you really have to think where Annie's heart is at, what she's been through, and what she's aiming for in the whole production.
So I need a line.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to give me a line in this accent and this American. Come, channel your inner Annie.
Okay, I'm trying to think of a good one.
All right, well, you think
Okay.
we're going to bring Taryn into this conversation about...
something about the sun. Something about just planting a seed for her. So
the sun.
something about the sun, yeah.
All right, no, I think I got one now.
Talk to us about working with these two and how there's a synergy. It's very important that there's a synergy and it comes through on stage. Talk to us about that.
It is very important, and I'm lucky enough to have worked with both of them. In fact, Niels and I did Annie 15 years ago together. And Emma was in The Sound of Music with me as a little martyr. So you were a martyr, hey?
Yeah.
Good. There were a lot of kids. So it is very important because the relationships that are established behind the scenes actually come across when you're on stage together. There's a trust that develops. There's the fun aspect of course, the story is important and we all have to serve the story. But while we're serving the story, we need to also have it, it's fun. It's fun and it's light and we can play and trust each other to play and not just take it seriously.
Have you...
If that makes
I
sense.
got one now.
All right,
Okay.
take it away.
The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun.
Nice.
Very good. I think you've mastered it.
I'm so glad you asked her and not me. It's amazing how children just seem to be able to do things naturally, and while with us, I think with all sorts of bad habits and lazy tongues, it's far more difficult than she just made it out to be.
Yeah. Now I'm going to ask you to respond. There is no way that you can have this conversation, and you just did her part.
Okay.
You go.
It's one of my bigger.
We can do some banter together if you want.
Yes.
Welcome home, Mr. Warbucks.
It's good to be home. So, first things first.
speaks.
First things first.
Have you guys forgotten your lines?
Yes, sir. I say yes, sir, a lot.
Yes. First things first, has the painting arrived from Paris?
Yes, sir. Jonathan's just about to hang it now, sir.
Ah, yes. No, I don't think so. Grace, messages.
Yes, sir. President Roosevelt, he wants to call him at the White House.
We'll get back to him tomorrow. Anyone else?
John D. Rockefeller, Mahatma Gandhi, and Harper Marx.
Nothing urgent.
I am happy. All right, let's talk about the story that is Annie and why we can still talk about Annie today and still all relate to the story of Annie. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think that everybody has, you know, a background that they come from. Some people are privileged, some people are underprivileged. So it's something that you can identify with no matter where you come from. It depends on what you are exposed to as an individual. But I think we all have, as human beings, compassion towards a person's story, an individual story and where they come from. And so, like we've said, it's all heart, really. You follow this child's journey. She's been looking for her parents for 11 years. I mean, it is tragic, but there's hope. She's still looking. She hasn't lost hope. So I think the elements and the common themes we can all identify with.
Emma, talk to us about working with these two.
Oh, dear.
What was that like?
Well, they're both professionals, and it's great to see and learn from both of them. But I have lots of fun with both of you as well.
Yay. That's important.
Was that scripted
No.
for you to say that? Are you sure?
Promise.
Yeah.
Promise.
Acting though, what is it about acting that is so close to your heart?
I've acted since the age of 5, and just that feeling of being on stage and giving it your all, it's the best feeling in the world. It's so special for me. Yeah.
Niels, for you, talk to us about the synergy. You know, it's important that you guys have a synergy and, you know, it must gel. When I'm sitting in the audience and looking at you guys, what is it about that? What do you think this relationship works so well?
Look, I think it's really all about, you know, first and foremost, you have to have a really good understanding of what your character is about and how he fits into the story. And then in that process, obviously working with your fellow actors, a relationship, like Taryn said, on and off stage is very important. Also kind of chatting about it amongst yourselves, and so joining that with the direction and the choreographer that comes from choreography that comes from the creative team. So it's really a massive process that's ever changing and that can never be predicted fully. But that, I guess, at the end of the day, all you need is investment and making sure your character speaks and that you really get to the heart of that character. I just want to quickly say, in terms of Emma and all three the Annies, she speaks of what she's learning from us, and it's an incredible thing to see these kids take on this responsibility, and I don't think people necessarily understand how big the responsibility is of playing Annie.
Yeah.
And they are
She's the focus.
She
completely.
doesn't stop.
She but all of them. But Emma, you're incredible, and just in terms of your professionality. So I learn as much from her.
We learn a lot.
All right, let's give details. What time, where, ticket prices?
Ticket prices, I'm not sure, but I can tell you it's Tuesdays to Fridays at 8 o'clock, and then it's Saturday 3 and 5.
Yes.
And then it's
3 and 8.
3 and 8,
Yes.
and then Sunday 2
and 5:30.
5:30.
Where?
Monte Casino.
Monte Casino.
Teatro.
All right.
Teatro.
So, I have to see this. I really have to. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, Niels Claassen, he plays the role of Daddy Warbucks. Taryn Sadem, she plays the role of Grace. And then, of course, the beautiful Emma Rose Blasher, she plays the role of the tough task of playing Annie. All right, so we're really looking forward to that at Monte Casino, so don't miss it.